welcome to the 12th episode of C4C Conversations. I'm Ranchana Kalburgi, a member of C4C and your host for today's program. Each of the previous episodes have been on very interesting topics, ranging from history of Namma Bengaluru, waste segregation, respiratory health, e-governance, services from Government of Karnataka, animal welfare, heart health, BBMP and citizens, heal your body, mind and soul, eyes and eye donation. And the last program was about COVID and children, which was held on 24th June. Today's program has a lot to do with the most important aspect of our health and our lives, the food that we eat. With commercialization on a massive scale in the food industry, we are indeed taking risks every day with what we eat. The best way to ensure chemical-free and safe food is to grow it ourselves. I grow few greens I need for my family in few pots, and I hope to learn about how I can grow more from today's speaker, Sri Ravindra. Before we start, as always, Rajkumar Dugar, founder and convener of Citizens for Citizens, will give a brief overview and update of C4C activities. Over to you, Raj.
Thank you, Ranjana. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. C4C ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. After the first C4C Conversations program in August 2020, we were not sure in what direction to take this, but we soon realized that there are plenty of interesting topics which are of general interest for you and me. And there are really good and knowledgeable people who have worked on these topics. We soon had passionate individuals, professional doctors, IAS officers, etc., taking programs on C4C's platform. We aimed for an episode every calendar month, but could not organize during at least a couple of months. However, to stick to our aims, we made up for the losses, and it is indeed a pleasure that today we are having the 12th episode of C4C Conversations during the 12th month, and that too on a very, very important topic: grow your own food. I believe even the busiest person should be able to take out at least an average half an hour every day to spend with plants grown at home. Well, on 24th June, just after the last episode of C4C Conversations, we received official permission from Southwestern Railways to carry out tree planting in one acre land at the newly built Sir M. Vishweshwaraya terminal. As most of you may know, this station is said to be one of the best railway stations in India and awaits inauguration. We are hopeful of starting actual on-site work, well, maybe as soon as tomorrow. As preparation, earlier this week, C4C's drone pilot, Pravar Chaudhary, took excellent aerial shots of the land along with the new railway station. C4C came out with an advisory regarding vaccination. We need to be very alert and ourselves monitor the usage of new syringe, intake of vaccination, 0.5 ml into the syringe, as well as injecting the entire dosage into our arm. Yes, it is painful and we generally look away while all this is happening. But for our own safety and to ensure we get the right dosage, we must monitor this. If we cannot see it ourselves, we should try and have someone else from our side observe all this for us. On 27th June, C4C physically verified a few assurances given during inspection of smart city roads being built at Miller and Palace roads. We even measured the width of the roads and were satisfied with the results being as per assurances given. On 28th June, C4C handed over a letter to Shivaji Nagar MLA along with a list of works pending out of all those matters we have raised during the ward committee meetings. MLA Shri Rizwan Arshad assured early resolution of the pending list. We came out publicly with a detailed explanation about how the downgrading of the priority of the airport corridor in the Bangalore suburban train project is not in the interests of Namma Bengaluru, the downgrading of the priority. This decision by the state government, we strongly feel, needs to be reviewed at the earliest. Well, with this update about C4C during the last 10 days, I now request Ranjana to take today's program forward. Over to you, Ranjana.
Thank you, Raj. Thanks, Raj, for the brief update about C4C. As a member of C4C, I am aware that something or the other thing keeps happening almost every day at C4C towards improving things in our surroundings and in our city. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce the founder of Indus Herbs, as well as Ahara Sanjeevani, Shri Ravindra TC, to all of you. He is a nature enthusiast, an environmentalist, conservationist, and he's practical on that. He has helped afforest over 400 hectares of land, having planted over 12 lakh plants and ensuring almost 95% survival rate. His early exposure on the family farm in Shimoga, as also his business in the medicinal plants and herbs and spices, came handy when he planned Go Green Bangalore initiative in 2009 to popularize 20 medicinal plants anyone could grow in the confines of their home. Spreading awareness on traditional and medicinal plants, his path crossed that of retired forester and former state forest secretary, Sri Yellappa Reddy. Together with Sri Yellappa Reddy, he began developing theme parks based on medicinal plants, Navagrahavana, Nakshatravana, Ganapati Vana, Saraswati Vana, Ashoka Vana, etc. At the Bangalore University, he worked to establish biodiversity park with native species and watershed projects. Working with several NGOs and other organizations, Ravindra got into cleaning and greening of lakes, reviving rivers, and large-scale afforestation. He has provided direct employment to over 250 people. Today, Ravindra's organization based in Bangalore offers integrated green solutions for cities all over India. This includes afforestation at various scales, eco-landscaping, individual and community plantations, terrace gardens, lake rejuvenation, green consultation for corporates, and much more. Around 35 parks and more than 25 lakes owe their green cover to him. Ravindra's involvement begins with survey, conceptualization, design, species selection, soil preparation, planting and taking care of soil nutrition, protection and maintenance. The 70-acre biodiversity park at Bailukuppe Monastery is one of the oldest projects and boasts of 150 different varieties of indigenous trees. While the herbal garden at NDRI and Siddhavana of over 200 acres, butterfly parks and theme parks are some of the other examples of the work this green warrior has undertaken. Ravindra has also been part of a bigger project to revive many rivers by planting lakhs of trees alongside riverbanks. He has also been working to revive some of the water sources around Nandi Hills. His firm, Indus Herbs, is over 10 years old and deals in essential oils, herbs, and spices, which are directly sourced from the farmers. His nursery in Bengaluru houses over 12 lakh saplings of many varieties, including some rare medicinal plants from Western Ghats. He is also publisher of monthly magazine, Krishi Bharat, which covers information to farmers about agriculture and environment-related aspects. Some of us at C4C have seen this excellent work firsthand at the small, dense urban forest of about 3,000 trees in a small area of about 6,000 square feet. He has created near Cantonment railway station, and we call it Nammakadu. When we requested Ravindra to share his knowledge, he readily agreed to encourage ordinary citizens busy in their day-to-day core activities to not just grow plants, but to grow so as to obtain our food from these plants. I believe there is a huge difference between buying our fruits and vegetables from store or even online compared to plucking the same from the plant or tree that we grow in our own place, maybe in our own balcony. So please do put in all attention to this talk and learn how do we go about it. And if you are doing it already, learn how to go about it in a better manner. Over to you, Ravindra.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajkumar sir and Ranjana madam, for giving me an opportunity to share a few information about terrace garden. 1 second, let me share the screen. Yeah, this year World Environment Day theme is restoring our ecosystem. Like corporates can take up massive afforestation projects, or government or NGOs can take up massive afforestation. But as an individual, what we can do, like at least we have to green our surroundings by planting 2 trees in front of our houses. Wherever vacant space we have, we can convert into a green space. One statement, in our every deliberation, we must consider the impact of our decision on the next 7 generation. Why I'm saying, if you see this image, this how, like in 1973, Bangalore, almost 68.2% is completely covered with vegetation. Now, because of urbanization and development and all, we have only 2.96% of vegetation. This is the land use dynamics in Bangalore. So at least like corporates can take up massive afforestation projects or watershed management projects. As an individual, wherever we have space, we can convert it into a green space, or by doing vegetable garden and all. Why to do vegetable garden or grow our own food? Because if you see, the pesticide level in breast milk samples were more than 400 to 800% higher than the allowed levels. If you take any vegetables in market, it's all much higher than the permissible limits. At least for that reason, we have to start growing the vegetables. It's not only that, like I said earlier, it's our this year theme is ecosystem restoration. As an individual, it's our social responsibility to grow vegetable, to convert into green space, and like proper watershed management or rainwater harvest management and all. For that reason, we have to definitely start growing vegetables on our own. And 50 to 60% of vegetables we get across geographical regions are contaminated with pesticides. More than all this DDT, and entrine and all. For example, ginger, we found more than 22 banned chemical found in ginger. Though ginger, turmeric and all best nutraceutical, which we are growing for our food habits and all, but that quality we don't get anymore because of the highest pesticide levels and all. And in Kasaragod, like 60-70 years before, for one endosulfan, I think it takes another 100 years to reverse that trend because of the pesticide application. And moreover, actually, the symbiotic relationship between the soil and plant has been lost. So vegetable which we are getting from market also, though it looks fresh, but this is the condition. If you see in Bairamangala, near Kengeri and all polluted river, this thing, it's not only organic pollutant and contaminated with all heavy metals. In Bairamangala recently found mercury and lead also in the water body. So this is the threat actually which we have. At least to avoid that, we should grow vegetable on our own. And the name you call it as brand organic and all, definitely we are not sure actually whether it is really organic or not. And one example I want to give you actually, like why it is not possible. Definitely, if we all try, definitely it is possible. Cuban government actually 65% of its rice, 46% of fish, vegetables, 13% of its fruits, and 6% of its eggs, all grown in urban Cuba only. So it is definitely possible. And why to grow vegetables and why organic terrace gardening and all? Definitely, we will get fresh and healthy vegetables. We all know the leafy vegetables actually, which has got only, it loses its potency within 24 hours. But definitely we get all the leafy vegetables and all after 2-3 days from the market actually, after harvesting and all. And fresh vegetable, definitely we can. There are 20 different vegetables can be grown. I always suggest how tulsi we can grow in our house. There are essential 20. Instead of just taking paracetamol for cough and cold, there are many plants are there. Like a plant like Nirgundi is the best insect repellent. If you put small twig into the rice container, we don't get any pests or insects. Like that, there are different medicinal plants can be grown on terrace or around the space which we have and all. And lot of traditional knowledge we can exchange. There are many organic terrace garden groups are there in Bangalore. We can exchange the seeds, we can exchange the native seeds, local seeds and all. So growing also, it's very easy. And definitely like spending 15 to 20 minutes with plants would be a best stress buster. And now if you see in Bangalore, we can avoid minimum 15 to 20% of landfill can be avoided if we can able to convert wet waste into a manure. There are simple techniques are there actually by using bokashi method or kamba or proper simple composting method. We can convert wet waste into a manure, so that actually like even that manure can be used for gardening. And these are the simple gardening tools which are available in market, can be used to start uh, gardening. And first actually we'll have to identify how much space we have and what our family wants to eat every day. And many people are asking frequently, these are the some of the frequently asked question wherever I go to ask, like whether to do terrace garden and all, whether this weight will become a problem, weight on my terrace and all, and too much seepage. And if it rains, what will happen? Nothing will happen if it rains too much, too heavily also. And if it is too sunny days, Bangalore weather condition or Bangalore climatic condition and all, this will not have any impact, because if even if it is summer days, actually we can cover with shade net also. And whether terrace gardening is profitable, definitely terrace gardening is very profitable. If not directly, there are indirectly so many benefits are there. And before starting, we'll have to estimate the space available. Based on that, we have to plan what type of vegetable which we have to grow, our vegetables, our fruits, or other leafy vegetables and all, and assign the space according to each crop depending on the sunlight, because sunlight is very important to grow vegetables. If we don't have sunlight, it's very difficult to grow vegetables. All the vegetable, only few leafy vegetables can be grown. Um, this is like a divide among the vegetables, fruits, and legumes. If we don't have much space, we have to divide all this, like what type of vegetables can be grown where and all. And intercropping is very important here actually. If we don't which plant to grow where and all. And there are, even in online also, the organic terrace garden vegetable spacing guide is available. We can just download it and use also. If we are starting new, my suggestion is to like start small. There are different types of grow bags are available, or planter box are available. And proper staking is necessary. Supporting sticks, if you don't give proper supporting sticks, plants will not grow healthy, and even we don't get much yield. Aim to eat at least one thing from garden each day. This will be very interesting actually. If you start growing all type of leafy vegetables, fruits, or flowers and all, at least aim to use at least one from our garden. And as I mentioned, there are many volunteer groups are there in Bangalore, and thousands of people are growing, lakhs of people are growing vegetables on their terrace. We can easily exchange knowledge, ideas, and the seeds also. This is the simple terrace garden design. We can grow from lemon to curry leaf, all type of plants, including banana, which we can grow on terrace. Not only like leafy vegetables or shrubs, herbs and all, we can grow tree species also. And we have to spend minimum 15 to 20 minutes. We have to enjoy doing, then only we can get definitely good result. And there are different types of medicinal plants can be grown. Like I mentioned, ginger, more than 20 banned chemical traces in the ginger in market. Though if you get it from organic shops, we don't know whether it's this one, it's all hybridized. What we are doing is we have collected from Chamrajnagar, it's the Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat meeting place actually, with the help of Soligas and all wild ginger, wild pepper, wild turmeric. It's not for cultivation purpose, it's just for we are just trying to multiply, we are just trying to propagate with the terrace gardening groups and all. If we have around 4 to 5 containers or 4 to 5 planter box, it will be sufficient for a family. And like ginger, we can grow all other like mints. There are different types of mints are there. Dodpatre called Indian borage. It's also used for cough and cold, and even in salads we can use. Different types of basil can be grown. And one Mangaravalli, this is called signature plant also. If I mean, it's good for all arthritis, joint related problems and all. If you peel the skin, and if we can use to prepare chutney and other dishes, even in papad also. Like that, Gilloy. Now we know actually all COVID times and all, like for everything, Gilloy is one of the ingredients in Ayurvedic preparations for diabetes, blood pressure, everything. That also can be used, can be grown very easily in our terrace. And lemongrass. And the last plant which I mentioned is called Nirgundi. It's the best insect repellent plant. uh, we always suggest we have to go back to our roots and all, actually, because all our Indian landscape and all, now if you see corporate office, wherever we go, we have hedge plants like Duranta and all. It's only like a aesthetically pleasing, that's all. The plants like Giloy can be also used as a proper hedge, and it's a best insect repellent and mosquito repellent. Even a small twig, you can put it in rice container or any other thing, we don't get any pest or insects. These are the points, common points to be considered to grow terrace gardens. Like I mentioned, space and how many members are there in our family. Light is very important, and availability of certain vegetable. Which season? Because it's all like in Ayurveda they say like dinacharya, rutucharya, and swasthacharya and all. Which fruit, which vegetable to be used for in that particular season and all based on the season we have to grow. We can grow all the vegetables. And intercropping. So if you plan properly with the intercropping plants, the plants also will grow healthily, and we can avoid a lot of pests and other insects. And maintaining compost and vermicompost, definitely we can prepare our own compost, or organic like manure and compost are which are available there in market. The best way to do the composting, to prepare like liquid fertilizer like Panchagavya or Jivamrit, which I'll explain in our next slide. If we have space outside our house or outside this thing and all, then we can grow all these leafy vegetables or vein vegetable like this. And these are some of the terrace garden examples where people are growing their own, like they're not only for them, actually, they are also distributing for others. If you see this garden, they have used all type of planter boxes, like starts from normal earthen pots to plastic pots, grow bags, and containers. And seeds are very important. If you get right seeds, good quality seeds, then the germination will be, I mean, you can get good yield also. There are thousands of people are now in Bangalore. It's not like other cities. Bangalore, many people have started growing their food, the garden, vegetable garden. We can always exchange the seeds from them. Or if we are growing in a little bigger way, then these kind of trays are so available. So that these seeds can be put up once after germination. We can transplant. We can transfer to the bigger pots, and some of the microgreens can be grown. And it's not only vegetables. If we have space, we can always convert into a green patch, green space and all by using the waste material and used material. We can, this is a one vertical wall, this thing. These are some of the bushy vegetables can be grown in planter boxes like this. Like you see, these are the chilies which are grown on different types of grow bags. And some of the vine vegetables which can be grown on terrace. And proper staking is very important. If you don't give proper supporting sticks, the vegetables will not grow properly, and we don't get much yield. And one this thing is for leafy vegetables, every harvest we have to re-sow the seeds, sowing the seeds again. That's why I said actually we'll have to spend 15 to 20 minutes time with terrace to get the regular yield. So for leafy vegetable, this kind of rectangular boxes or rectangular, this thing is good. And after sowing 15-20 days, we can get regular harvest. And some of the leafy vegetables are growing in different types of planter boxes. And grow bags, which are very easily available in market, and it's a we can do it very reasonable cost. Actually, it's very cost effective method to grow vegetables. And with the half cut drum also, we can grow all these kind of leafy vegetables, and some of the roots and the thing like radish and onions also can be grown. And some of my friends, they're also growing, apart from vegetable, normal vegetable, they're growing trees also on terrace. And see this like more than 2 years, actually they're growing banana. And it's a passion actually. Like these are some of the common microgreens can be grown, like spinach, radish, amaranthus. Amaranthus itself, we have more than 10-12 different varieties. And all these vegetables can be grown on terrace. See, this is one of my favorite photos actually. With very limited space, they're growing all their required vegetables. Not only that, actually they are also distributing to 4 other families. And they have used all different type of planter boxes. You see the pipe for the irrigation purpose. And even in summer, if it is too hot, we can cover with the shade net. There are different grades of shade nets are available in market, 50% to 80%. Depends on the sunlight we can cover with it. And some of the vertical hanging pots also, with that also, not only vegetables, other ornamentals also can be grown. If you see that first image, this is not a this is also vegetable plants only, though it looks like ornamental plants. And some of the planter boxes are available, like these are the customized planter boxes. You see that the gap between the floor and the pot, actually it's clearly like visible. So which avoids, we can easily avoid the seepage problem and all. And this kind of, if we don't have space, so we have very less space in terrace, we have space in balcony and all, these kind of stands also can be used to grow plants in pots. Some of the gardening containers, these are the different types of gardening containers, starts from like earthen pots. It's commonly everywhere it's available, plastic pots, thermocol pots, fiber pots, gunny bags, grow bags. And I don't suggest much of this very thin plastic bottle to grow vegetables. At least you can grow some of the ornamental plants or this thing by using this used bottles and all. These are some of the, with the help of like wooden crates, we can grow all type of leafy vegetables. And irrigation is very important. If we don't have time, we have to go for the drip irrigation or micro sprinkler. And even if you don't have time to water or switch it on, actually we have timers also, it's available actually, like we can fix the timers. And some of the like vertical garden, vertical pots, which can be grown on terrace also. See, this is very interesting. We can grow all this type of wheat grass and other grasses also. Only thing you need is around 7 to 10 trays. After 8 days, we can harvest. Each tray, wheat grass is supposed to be very nutritious drink actually, which can be grown easily on terrace, balcony, or wherever we have very less space also. And some of the like different types of pots with nets and all, because so many problems, like it's not only like a pest or insects, we have a lot of other problems like rodents or monkey menace and all. To avoid that, these kind of nets also can be used. These are the simple pots for to grow all type of leafy vegetables. This is how the preparation and all. And different types of pots. And if we have very less space, we can always also convert into a vertical garden, vertical with the help of stands. Not only vegetable plants, other ornamental plants also can be grown. There are different types of fragrant plants also there. It's kind of aromatherapy. Even the peppermint, actually, even in aromatherapy, how it refreshes our mind and all. The plant, we always suggest actually in front of our house, we have to plant 2 trees and all. Plant just not give oxygen, which also releases lot of volatile oils. There are so many antiviral plants, antifungal plants, antibacterial plants. I mean, all these native species which we have to grow, even if we have less space also. This is how we can grow all like tree species with the help of containers, like banana, papaya, or pomegranate, curry leaves. All this can be grown on terrace. Guava, different types of containers. And if we are very particular about some of the culinary herbs, if we can make these kind of stands in just outside of our kitchen, we can grow all type of culinary herbs like rosemary, oregano, sage, thyme, lavender. All these herbs can be grown. And terrace garden is not just we want to grow our own food, it also depends on our creativity. All used material can be used as a plant containers or planter boxes to grow vegetables. And these type of stands, it's all like based on our requirement, customized size and shape to grow vertically. And these are some of the grow bags, gunny bags and grow bags. Different types of grow bags are available. Grow bags is very cost effective to grow vegetables. And all different size, shape grow bags are available in market. Some of the common problems which we always notice to grow, like when we started growing vegetables: stunted growth, curling, wilting, leaves turning yellow. And these are the common problems. But I'll give you a very simple solution for that with the liquid fertilizers. And these are plant after started growing. These are the main case to be taken, like take proper supporting sticks, pruning regularly, and we have to remove all unwanted weeds. And the light is very important. And watering, how to water, when to water, it's also very important. And the nutrition and plant protection by like adding the liquid fertilizers, or there are Panchagavya and Jivamrita which are available. These are the some of the like proper staking method. Actually, if we don't use proper supporting sticks, plants will not grow healthy. And for mainly for vein vegetable, we have to use proper supporting sticks and we'll get very good yield. The different types, people are using different methods for the staking. And pruning depends on the season. We have to cut this. This is a curry leaves pruning. And this is very simple. Watering is like summer, twice a day, winter, once in a day, rainy season. If it is required, we have to water it. And watering with the irrigation with different methods, micro sprinkler or drip irrigation. Or my suggestion is like if we have around 2,400 square feet and all, we can always do watering manually. It will be a physical exercise also, stress buster also, spending time with the plants. And you should not over water also, because nutrients will wash away and it can cause root rots and weeds. And water, like we'll have to water in the morning or in the evening. It's better. And it's a simple formula is like if you grow it for the fruit or the root, you need full sunlight. If you grow it for the leaves or stems or sprouts, partial shade is also sufficient. And it's not only about the pest or insect. We can in cities like Bangalore, we do have a lot of other monkey menace and rodent problems. We can grow with this kind of net also, actually, to avoid all these insects or pests. And we can always cover with the shade net also. Different grades of shade nets are available, different like 50%, 60%, 80%, and all you see in this image. So, and weeding. Weeding is very important. Weeding is just unwanted plants, which weeds mostly from soil or compost. It comes actually. If you don't remove on time, actually, once if it gets seed sets, then it's very difficult to remove actually. And crop rotation is very important. Because if you grow if you do, like for example, this like tomato, if you are growing tomato, after the immediate harvest of the tomato, I had to grow the go for beans and all, because one plant consumes the nitrogen from the soil, other plants actually retains the nitrogen. And nutrient management, no need to worry much on that actually. Like I'll give you the simple solution for the liquid fertilizers. Like as mentioned, this Panchagavya or Jivamrit. This is one of the best formulation for all type of vegetables, even organic cultivation in a larger scale, or even for home gardening, terrace gardening, vertical garden, herbal garden. It's very simple to prepare. For that, what we need is around 5 kgs of cow dung, cow urine, 3 liters of cow urine, 2 liters of cow milk, 2 liters of curd, ghee 500 grams, sugar cane 3 liter, tender coconut 3 liter, ripe banana 12, and toddy. And if 1 or 2 like toddy is not available in readily also, it's okay. Add ghee and cow dung, mix well and leave it for 3 days. Fourth day, cow urine, milk, curd, tender coconut, and mix very well. And add sugar cane and jaggery for in 3 liters, and close stir it and close in the drum twice tightly. 15 days we have to stir it properly every day. 18th day this preparation will be ready. Just will have to use 20 to 30 ml of per liter for both for foliar spray or directly you can apply to the plants. This will act as a pesticide, fungicide, and also growth promoter. No need to add any other manure. Anyway, we are preparing the compost from our wet waste that we have to keep on adding. This will give the wonderful result. And if we don't have patience or we don't have time to prepare Panchagavya, this is also available online. We can buy and use that actually. Other one is Jivamrita. This is also the simple preparation. Take in 200 liter barrel, take 2 kgs of cow urine, cow dung, 2 kgs of cow dung, 2 kgs of jaggery, any dicotyledon like sprouts also it's better, or powder dicotyledon powder, and the soil, the garden, the soil which we are using for the garden, and add water to that and stir it regularly every day and close the lid. After fourth day, my suggestion is to use after fourth or fifth day, because if you wait for eighth or ninth day, it gives little bad smell, foul smell, and people may not like to use that actually. We can use after fourth or fifth day, it will give the wonderful result. No need to add anything. The soil will become very healthy by adding this kind of Jivamrita or Panchagavya, which this also act as a pesticide, fungicide, and growth promoter. And the most important thing which you have to do is whether the proper hole we have made for the pots, and if not, actually we'll have to check regularly, because too much water stagnant, then plant will become it may get wilt or it will die. Mulching is very important. So Bangalore, though we don't have any problem, we can get all the dried leaves or leaf litter. We can use it as a mulch, or if you don't have that, actually we can always use coconut husk for that. And rainwater harvest. If you see last 100 years rainfall pattern in India or in Karnataka, it's almost similar. But we are not able to harvest the rainwater. At least our individual responsibility is to harvest rainwater and use that water for gardening purpose. And some deficiencies and all, actually for that, actually like best thing is to go for Panchagavya Jivamrut. Or if we have larger space, we want to create our own compost and all, this is a simple way to do the composting. 1 layer of coconut husk or sugarcane waste, and add the dried leaves or the wet waste, and add one small 5 to 6 inches of cow dung smear, and repeat the same process. And third layer also we have to add 1 layer of red earth, 5 to 6 inches, and keep watering because we have to retain that moisture in that one. Actually, after 4 to 5 months, this will become a manure. And if we don't have that much space, patience and all, simple way for the family and all, then we have anaerobic composting method. One is bokashi composting, other one is like a kamba. There are different are available in market. Smart bins, different smart bins are available. For wet waste, we have to add this kind of enzymes and leave it for some day. And only thing what we have to do is every day that leachate which comes from the tap, that also you can directly use for the plants. Even this is the best method. Actually, it will turn manure into the waste into a manure immediately. It doesn't give foul smell and all. So we can try to do this also. Or if we have good space, we want to do the vermicompost also. The same process, we'll have to add worms of, there are two different worms, are there, Indian and African. At least 200, 500 grams worms if you can add to that compost, which will become vermicompost. And if you can add to the soil quality, soil health will be increasing actually. And common some of the insects and pests, actually, like people are growing with this kind of cages also for non-insect pests and all. I mean, which we can avoid other pests and this thing also. If we are doing all these things, this will be the result for us actually in just in 1.5 to 2 months we can harvest this much. And don't you think this is sufficient? This will be the weekly harvest, even for a smaller area also, actually around 700, 800 square feet also, it would be sufficient for a family. And this will be the result if we start practicing, and if we start spend at least 15 to 20 minutes, we can grow all our required vegetables. And not only the leafy vegetables, there are different types of leafy vegetables are there, which we don't get commonly in the market. We can grow all that local native plants also. And these are some of the harvest which our people are doing. And why to do it? Actually, many people are asking, actually, like instead of doing that, we can get it easily. Definitely not. I'll give you the purpose actually. Why to do the terrace gardening and all. See, this is very interesting story. Okinawans were once renowned for being the longest living people on earth. Today, Okinawa has highest fat full density of all of Japan, and the poorest health statistics. So definitely we'll have to grow our own food. We'll have to avoid all these junk foods, and because India is now diabetes capital of the world, and Bangalore also, the diabetic case increasing every day. So growing our own food, growing local food is the key. And earlier I said, actually, for every our decision we have to take for next 7 generations and all. But forget about 7 generation. At least what we have to give for our next generation: good food, good air, good water. We have to definitely think in that way. And out of many people have joined, out of all, at least if we have 10 people, 10% of us start growing vegetables in our terrace, it will be sufficient for everyone. And it's not only need of the hour, it's a social responsibility. It's not for us actually, because we don't have much space in the city. At least this is the high time to grow green our surrounding and harvest the water. And you see, it's not only growing vegetables. You can spend your leisure time. You can spend time with the plants. And I mentioned earlier, like it will be the best stress buster also. And we can easily avoid 10 to 20 to 30% of the waste which we are directly filled to the landfills. If you see the Mandur and other places where our landfills are there, actually it will be like a very this thing. Many people are facing like cancer and other diseases. It will be our contribution actually if we start making the wet waste into a compost and segregation it properly. So at least for that purpose, we have to grow vegetable on our terrace. And most importantly, if you see any corporate office or government office or any colleges, institutions and all, we all covered with lawn. This is not for our country, actually, all Mexican grass and other grasses. Bangalore or India has got highest sun blast days, not like European countries. So here, like for a Mexican grass or any other lawn, our gardener will come and spray some chemicals. We don't know what he's spraying. He sprays deadly banned chemicals like DDT or Forate. Once it goes inside, it won't come out actually. So at least for that, we can have a lot of local native species, very good ground cover plants, herbs and shrubs. We can create our own like butterfly garden or herbal garden. Only thing we have to do is actually we have more than 150 different types of host and nectar plants for butterflies. If we plant those host and nectar plants, naturally all the butterflies will come actually attract those with plants. So we have to avoid these kind of Mexican grass or lawn or other exotic species like ficus, ficus and all. It's only for aesthetic purpose. We have lot of local species. We have to convert all our parks or our garden into eco-friendly landscaping so that actually we can I mean, it's not only releases oxygen, like I mentioned, for the miasma, actually, like which kills viruses. There are so many plants, for example, Bakula, Rudraksha, and some of the ficus species. We say actually it's not only releases oxygen. Some of the recent studies say some of the ficus species, which also activates or releases chemical that activate our brain cells. So we will have to be very careful with actually what needs to be planted in front of our houses, what to be planted in front in our gardens if we have a larger area. If we don't have smaller, if we have very smaller space, we can convert that place into a beautiful terrace vegetable garden. And by doing all these things, actually, definitely like Dr. Kalam says, if you fail means actually first attempt in learning. End is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. If you get no an answer, remember no means next opportunity. So let's positive and start growing all these plants, vegetables, or other ornamental plants, fragrant flowering plants around us. And if we have space, it's not only for vegetable garden. Even in rooftop, we can convert a beautiful forest. Many people have done in Bangalore. Also, we have seen recently in all TVs and news media. We can convert into a beautiful forest also. That will be a I mean, best place to spend our leisure time. And this is one of my favorite terrace garden photo. You see 3 generation, father, son and grandson, they're spending their happy time and they're growing their vegetables. uh, and definitely we all can try to grow at least uh, for a family what we need, at least 50% of that if we all try from today. And we'll have to think that actually like terrace gardening is not just a duty and all, it's our social responsibility. We'll have to start. And thank you again for giving me an opportunity. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer. And if we don't have time, if we don't have space to do that, I have started one more project called Ahara Sanjeevani, in consulting with Ayurvedic doctors and nutritional experts. See the food, like what we are eating based on our Rutudharma, seasonal justice, what type of food Bangaloreans need. I'm planning to cater. We are started to cater to the Bangaloreans morning breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and with the seasonal foods. So if you want more details on that, also I'll be happy to share on that. What type of food we have to have every day? Why like see we are why to have wax coated apple instead of guava? Where are our wild fruits? How to bring those wild fruits? How to grow that leafy vegetables? More than 50, 60 leafy vegetables are greens, which people used to have, but now we don't have. We have only 5, 6 leafy vegetable we get in market. So all these things, actually, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer. And thanks, Rajkumar sir, for giving me an opportunity to share few information about terrace garden. Thank you.
Well, after this, my kitchen garden is in for a revamp. With what I have learned today, I'll be able to grow more and grow better. At this point, it is natural to have questions and to seek clarifications. I request Raj to moderate the Q&A.
Thank you, Ranjana. And Ravindra Aure, thanks. I thought I knew a little bit about terrace gardening, and but today I've learned lots of it, and you have covered such a wide range of subject. We can go on and on because this is a very big subject, and the kind of benefits that we have, this is something amazing. So what we'll do now is we will take up a few questions. Mr. Ravindra, can you please unshare your screen? Because
Okay.
yeah, your mobile number and email is already there in the chat box. I have mentioned it. So anybody wants it, they can take it from the chat box. And we have a few questions and remarks here. First, I'll take up those, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yes, Pamela Kohli, she says, kindly share the slide on the layout of plants.
Okay. Again, I'll have to share, or how it's, shall I send it by email?
Yeah, you can do that. I will put my mail ID here, and you can send it to me if anybody wants. They can.
I'll put my email ID in the chat box, please.
Yeah, sure. Please do that.
I'll share this. I'll share this PPT itself to Rajkumar, actually, whichever
Yes.
you want.
Pamela, what I request is, if you don't mind, it will be better this way. I have shared my email ID. Please send me a mail and I will forward that to you. It'll be easy because there are several people who might be interested. I hope that is all right.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pamela. Okay, the next question or point is Sukanya would like to know what kind of plants can be grown in areas where there is light but no direct sunlight comes.
Yeah, some of the leafy vegetables can be grown, and if you don't have if you have very less sunlight, instead of vegetables, we can have more than around 8 to 9 plants are there. Even that is also there in the slide. Actually, I'll share, or I can contact me. I'll share, give you the list of that one. Actually, start from aglaonomia to some of the palm variety. Those can be grown if you have very less sunlight.
I think you mentioned somewhere. You mentioned somewhere leafy vegetables. All the greens can be.
No, leafy vegetables can be grown actually if you have less sunlight. If you have very less sunlight, even that is also not possible.
Okay.
So always suggest to go for these 7-8 indoor plants type, actually, like aglaonomia and palm variety, mother-in-law tongue and all, which grows without sunlight. Actually. Yeah.
Ranjana has one question. I think there's another Ranjana. What are the aromatic plants that can be grown? Can we grow them inside our homes?
Inside home is difficult. Aromatic plants like start from lemongrass to rosemary, oregano. These are the culinary herbs, all aromatic only. Rosemary, oregano, sage, thyme, lavender, and all. Other aromatic plants like night queen, all these can be grown outside. Like we have to have full sunlight. Otherwise, these plants, it's not possible. No medicinal plants without sunlight, it will not be grown. Only the plants like ground cover, like Brahmi or Brungraj and all, which grows in less sunlight.
Okay, there is one question from Shalini Arvind. How long can we store the Panchagavya once it is ready?
Panchagavya, you can keep it any time, actually, like longer time. Even if it like after 3 months, 4 months and all, actually, even the microbial actions will be more, and so enzymatic action more, you can keep it for longer time, no problem. You can keep it.
No, longer time as in some.
Like no, 2 years, 3 years, nothing will happen actually. Like
Okay.
There is no, because in Ayurveda also there are 2 processes like asava and all. Actually, even for that there is no expiry. For Panchagavya also there is no expiry. But it smells little bad actually. It gives a little stinking smell and all. Better to use it for 3 to 4 months once and all. Yeah.
Those who have questions outside, they are not mentioned in the chat. Please hold on. A couple of more points from the chat and then we'll come to you. Sukanya has one more. What would be the cost of setting up and growing our own vegetables and fruits for a family of 4?
It depends on what type of planter box we use. I said like a used container also can be used to set up a terrace garden. Or if you want like some of the planter box which you have shown, those are a little expensive. Starts from 5,000 to 1 lakh rupees we can spend for to create a terrace garden for around 700 to 800 square feet for family of 4. We can start with just 5,000 also. And if you want to use some like this kind of planter boxes, customized planter box and a little expensive, 5 to 1 lakh rupees based on our requirement.
Mr. Ravindra, I have a small supplementary to that. You said 5,000 to 1 lakh. Now, suppose I use some used container, and I have my own compost and soil and some seed from the fruit I have eaten, and I use it. I mean, where is the cost watering?
No. Minimum 5,000 will have to spend because actually like for the soil, manure, and if we don't have anything, we'll have to spend for that, and even the labor and to set up a basic this thing. But systematically we want to do with like shade net, greenhouse, or net house and all, then which cost?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to suggest that maybe it doesn't cost even 5,000 to start a kitchen garden.
Yeah. No. Family of 4, if they want full the vegetable and all, actually, which cost the
okay,
like,
that way,
yeah.
Yeah. Next question. No, this is a comment by Mr. Prakash. Good topic as well as presentation, but shortage of time must have curtailed the duration of viewing the slides. I think you are going fast with the slides because that's what
because of the time actually.
We want to spend more time in question answers. That is what we requested, Mr. Ravindra. And Shalini says, what wild fruits can we grow in pots which yield well? Wild fruits.
There are more than 15 types of wild fruits are there, actually, Jujubas varieties, and Bore Hannu you can call, actually, Ambarlu, Bemmal. All these plants can be grown on terrace and in pots also, which is not available anywhere. Because of with the help of Dr. Ellapreddy, we collected it with the help of Soligas. We have started multiplying all this. These are some of the rare species. For example, I'll give an example of Makli Beru. Makli Beru is one, I mean, Bangaloreans know about Makli Beru. It's for use for pickles. Now, Makli Beru is endangered. It's in RDB. I mean, it's an endangered species. It not only, it's highly nutritious and for water harvesting from Ramnagar to Chikballapur, all the mountains, which literally pierce the rock wherever the factory and this thing and all, which it helps to harvest the water, but we don't have that actually now. So we can start growing in these kind of dry areas with Makli Beru and other rare species also, which really helps. And one, I mean, since it's endangered, we have to multiply it more actually. Like that, there are more than 15-20 different types of fruit plants are there. A lot of Jujubas varieties can be grown, and Carissa caranda is one other plant actually, which also can be grown easily, which is available, which gives yield within 1 year. Many are there actually.
Any common name for that, what you mentioned just now, because we will not know these scientific names.
Carissa caranda, Kavale Hannu.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fine. And so I think that answers the question. These can be grown in the pots, you said, correct?
Yeah, it can be grown in pots.
Yeah. Then Pamela, thanks for the wonderful session. Yeah, Ravindra, any website is there for reference pertaining to organic fertilizers?
Organic fertilizers, I mean, it depends actually. Like, I don't have any much this thing actually, because I don't want to recommend it. You can buy this vegetable only. Sorry, this fertilizer only. Better to go with this Panchagavya or Jivamrita, or any good neem-based organic neem-based compost is fine actually, or manure is perfect, fine, I think.
Okay. Parvati asks, can you please suggest the potting mix proportion for these kind of
Correct. Good question actually. Like I forgot to tell that actually around 30% of soil, 30% of vermicompost, and 30% of coco peat. Remaining 10% of sand would be ideal for to start for all these kind of vegetables to grow. Because even if you reduce soil to instead of 30, you can reduce to 20% also, and add coco peat for a lesser weight and all. Actually, like it will be a good media for the plants actually. Then we have to keep adding the wet waste. My sincere suggestion is, it's not just growing vegetable. We have to convert our waste into a manure. That's if you keep on adding to the soil, then soil will become very fertile and healthy.
Even cocoa peat, Ravindra Aure, cocoa peat, we don't need to buy it. I want to say from my side that I have made it myself at home with my hands. I mean, whatever coconuts we get. So probably you can throw light on that better than me. We can do it at home, right?
Yeah, cocoa peat. I mean, if it is very user friendly, if you want to use it, simple thing and all, because proper shredder is required to do that actually. Otherwise, actually, even if it is like smaller, like 10-15 pots and all, we can do it on our own also.
I have done it, so I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, where can we get? This is from Shalini. Where can we get the wild fruit saplings? Is there any source for the saplings?
Yeah, you can contact me. I think its number is already shared.
Yes,
I think
yes.
You can contact me. I can give you wide range of wild fruit varieties.
Amita Thakur, your question is not clear to me. Magadi Her has excellent anti-insecticidal properties. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask? Because the sentence is not very clear. Amita Thakur.
Thanks. It's a comment. It's not a question. We
Oh,
have
you
done
said
a lot of.
Magadi Her.
Sorry, typo error. It's Magadi Beru.
Okay, Beru.
Makli Beru. Correct.
It has a lot of anti-insecticidal properties.
Yeah.
Side has done a lot of work on that, and they've isolated the active ingredient from that. And it has been synthesized. It has a lot of anti-insecticidal properties also. Just wanted to share that. Other than its pickling use, it can be used as an anti-insecticidal.
No, the extract from the Deculops hamiltoni is the botanical name. The extract of that actually used for many other medicinal use, and it's like almost smuggling, I can say actually. It's not for pickling industry, it's for other industry which is extensively they're exporting to other countries now, and it's totally banned now. So it's one of the best medicinal herb I can see that one actually, but we have to propagate wherever we have space.
I can share some papers about the work which is done on Deculops hamiltoni about its anti-insecticidal properties.
Okay, please share, ma'am.
Done at CFTRI.
If I'm not mistaken, Amita Thakur is a scientist at NAL. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Please share it, madam. Actually, I would be really happy to see that one. Actually, just wanted to check it.
I will share that with you.
Yeah. So Sukanya says, thank you for the very informative session. And then there is somebody called K. I don't know what is the full name. Normally, what happens if we overwater without knowledge? Which plants can we have that will take these extra water? I presume that's a question.
Why to water extra? Actually, if that's my first question. It's not. I mean, even if you overwater, also you'll have to have proper. If you put proper hole to the plant, planter box, nothing will happen. Overwatering is not required, and we have to practice this method actually. Early morning, we have to water, or in the evening, to avoid other pests and all, daytime and all, for other to attack other pests and all. So I don't think no need to water much actually. Nothing will happen if you overwater also, but it's not recommended, not needed also. This is the proper like water audit also actually. We'll have to know actually which plant required how much water and all. If you start growing all these vegetables, you will only come to know actually when plant will react. So if you give less water, plant will immediately say to you, actually, I need water and all. So that's why I said actually you have to spend little time with the plants. You will only come to know how much water is required, and even if you give more water, also immediately plant will react. So it's a very simple science actually. No need to. I mean, you just spend little time with the plants, you'll come to know.
And I think the key point here, what you mentioned, is the drainage of the.
Correct.
Yeah. Prakash DR asks, my kitchen waste is entirely used for a small garden of 30 square feet. Okay, that is his statement. Then K again, what's the frequency of watering for outdoor, indoor plants, particularly leafy vegetables? Frequency of watering.
Leafy vegetables, if you are keeping outside, at least twice in a day is must actually. For the indoor plants, 3 days once is sufficient, actually, which doesn't require much watering. And outside, it depends on the trees and all. It depends on the height of the plant. It depends on the size of the plants where we are growing and all. If it's a small plants, we have to water it 3 days or 4 days once. If it is bigger plants, no need to water. And you make sure that you have to make proper drainage to the plant, proper water should not get stagnant. We should not cover with the concrete. Most of the places where we are planting in front of our house, we just plant and cover with all the cement or tar, actually, which water harvesting is difficult to do that. And one more thing is, like, while doing that, actually, we'll also try to remove all the pins and advertisements which people are using for the plants. That because once the trunk becomes hollow, you can see the most of the plants which uproots in Bangalore in 80s, the plants which we brought in 80s, it's all not native species. These are all exotic species. We'll have to plant all type of native species, which is the best kind of aromatherapy. You see, most around more than 15-20 aromatic fragrant plants are there. We can easily plant as avenue plants or in front of your houses. So aromatherapy also, it attracts a lot of birds and butterflies and other insects. It's all local species which will have to plant, actually. That's a simple yeah.
Okay, last one. K has a statement. Can we get Magadi Beru and Agasse Soppu plants, and where? I think you've already answered that with your email, email ID as well as mobile number is there in the chat box. Mr. Ravindra, we have quite a few attendees and participants here. If anybody would like to ask last few questions, because we have already, it's 12:10. So you have two methods. Either you put out hand in your name, or you unmute your audio and I will read out your name. You can go ahead and ask the question. Anyone, please. You can unmute yourself and anybody would like to ask question?
Ajay Tandon is asking.
Yeah. Hi, Ravindran. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good. Thank you.
Okay, my one small thing is, whatever you have shared here in this our conversation, can you put it in some sort of a post or something so that we can again go through it and implement and whatever you have suggested, so that moving forward we'll be able to do everything.
Yeah.
So if we have some sort of input,
I'll share this PPT. I'll share this PPT to Raj.
Yes, fantastic.
Because not to give
whatever
no.
you have shared actually answers all my questions I wanted to ask you. See, an effective fungicide, I remember trying to grow my chilies, and we had this downy mildew, the white powder below the leaves, which destroyed my plants. So an effective fungicide is same thing like what the manure you said we could use, which will be effective for the whole everything itself, pesticides, fungicides, right?
Correct.
That Panchagani, whatever,
Panchagani,
so that's good enough, right?
Yeah, it will be. My always sincere suggestion to go for that, actually. Even for, I always suggest for not only for vegetable garden in rooftop garden, even cultivation in larger area, agree, like organic cultivation and all. Even if you just spray like neem based this thing and all, it will not be sufficient. If you go with the Panchagavya or Jivamrita method, it will be, you can get very good yield and not with a lot of pests and diseases and all.
Thank you. But don't forget to share the PPT.
Yes.
I see that Shehnaz Khalili is unmuted. Would you like to? Is it for asking a question? Shehnaz Khalili. Okay. Prakash wants to ask a question. Go ahead, Prakash.
Sir, this is regarding, can you give a site visit and suggestions of what type of plants can be used and what type of arrangement can be made for certain remote places? In general, whatever you have said, yes, it is understandable. As one of the participant had asked, so there is no proper sunlight, this and all. Can you give a site visit and give suggestions?
Okay. Yeah, if it is in Bangalore, definitely we'll make a visit. We'll send our team to identify area, to suggest which plant, what are the plants, how many pots, and I can do all these things actually.
So is it chargeable or as a service?
No, no, it's like it's just a visit and all. Like we don't charge anything. It's very simple. Then, if you can share a video of your terrace or this thing, actually, we can able to give a suggestion from here itself. And my intention is everyone should grow actually. Like even for smaller visits and all, we don't mind to visit your place and all. That's why I said actually it's the PPT is not for just for sharing the information. It's everyone should understand actually like I mean we have to grow our own vegetables. We have to grow our own food. I'll give one small example why I have started this. I have 2 minutes, no, Raj?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Please.
Uh, See, Puttirama, I visited 4 years before to Chamrajnagar. There's one lady called Puttirama, it's a 85-year-old. She collects more than 45 to 80 different types of greens just next to her farm, actually, just to prepare some curries or palya or what you call for batsappu, soppu palya and all with ragi balls and all. She is 85-year-old and she is very healthy and her family is healthy and all the villagers are practicing the same thing. Another example is in Raichur, when Dr. Ellapreddy was a Loka Dalat member, he instructed health officers to see actually why so many cervical cancer in that particular area. It's because of too much application of pesticide for the grains and food or the vegetables. The same thing what we are destroying is weeds for us, but it's a food for Putirama. And the third one is like now Indian food habit is so rich and all our ancient wisdom. We have to bring back our ancient wisdom. It's so rich that the turmeric and ginger, the turmeric we extract 95% curcumin, and that other Western countries they use this as a tablet for antioxidant and all. And instead of lemon, we use in our food habit like a garcinia. It's called upage. Garcinia is good for weight loss and cholesterol, which we were using that Rutidorma I said, no particular season, which we are using actually. That they are using for as a Garcinia cambogia tablets. So we have lost of all our food habits, all our ancient wisdoms. We'll have to go back to our roots, not the only vegetable which we are getting from the market which we have to consume. No, we have lot many local vegetables are there that we have to eat. So much of nutrition food we have to eat. That is the reason actually now we are diabetes capital of the world. There is something wrong. We have to bring back, we have to go back to our roots. We have to apply our the ancient wisdom we have. So that's why I have started this project called grow our own food. Everyone should practice, and I mean in policy level also the people like Rajkumar sir tries, definitely it will happen actually. It's not just growing only food for ourselves. We have to bring back our ancient wisdom. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Right.
This, Mr. Ravindra, this Sanjeevani Upahara, which you have started,
Yeah.
is it, I want to know just out of curiosity, is it going towards those traditional foods? That
Yes, yes, yes. In consultation, one famous doctor, Dr. Venkat Shamaya, is 80-year-old. He 2 years before he gave me some this thing actually, based on the season. In Ayurveda, it is called Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Swasthacharya, and all. Which season we have to, what we have to eat, how we have to be, and Dinacharya means morning to evening. What's our lifestyle, how we have to be, and all. So he gave all the details about what type of food we have to eat. It's not just vegetables or the fruits, all the seasonal fruits, and you see the oils which we are getting in market, all the cooking oil. It's all very, I mean, like mineral oil is using. It's called white oil with that, so that we are getting at very less price. We do with the wood pressed, cold pressed oil. So that's very, very important. Most of the disease which we are getting, it's because of the oils. So we are very, very careful to use that wood pressed, cold pressed oil. We are preparing that, and we have made one formulation of herbs, actually combination of around 23 different types of herbs. which is good for it's a best immunity booster also. It's not only food actually. Which are the herbs which is not able to use in cooking, we are using in the formulation like a product like a kashayam kind of product actually. And we use more than 45 different types of greens, and not normal vegetables, like we use banana stems to makli pickle to we I mean this is what we have to eat, and there is no even in the menu also we cannot change the menu, because 24 days or 25 days we fix this is what one person needs actually. Based on proper research with the Ayurvedic doctors, nutritional expert, I started this project to give good, healthy, and nutritious food. Because all are like poisonous food day to day you eating, right? Actually, to avoid that, this is my very sincere effort to give good quality food to the people of Bangalore who are needy. And you see, after COVID, people are suffering from a lot of other diseases like gastritis and other this thing and all, because of too much antibiotics and all. This really works actually, because the red rice which we are using, you are not using the steamed rice. We are using only red rice, and even the millets also. It's a sprouted ground powder which we are using. So many things are there actually. Like even the vegetable list also, it's not normal vegetables. Yeah.
I'm sure those who are interested will contact you regarding that. There is one last question in the post. How can we control pests from Parvati?
Pest. This you start practicing like Panchagavya or Jivamrut. That takes care of everything.
Okay. Okay. One last. If anybody has any question, last chance, so to say, before we close. Anybody has a question? Please unmute yourself. Ajay, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah. Ravindra, sir. Hello.
Sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, you had said some sort of sticks to be put into dry ration so that insecticides don't get into your grains. What is the stick, sir? Something you said
to avoid pests in the rice and other things. There's some
insecticides. Insecticides.
That's called Nirgundi plant. I think it is there in Namakadu, sir. I'll show you next time when I visit.
Okay. No, I have to meet you very soon because I want it for my.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, this program can go on, and we will still have more to learn. Growing food leads to not only improvement in one's physical health, it leads to the improvement in one's mental health too. They say gardening is a great stress buster. Also, overall, we have lots of money too. We save lots of money too when we save on a huge cost on food, and also on the hospital bills when we get unwell because of the chemical and pesticide onslaught from the commercially grown and processed foods. For all this, on behalf of myself, all C4C members, and all the attendees of today's program, I heartily thank Mr. Ravindra for sharing this experience with us. His email ID and contact number are available in the chat for also those interested in contacting him. I also thank all the participants for having made this useful program by attending and also with your questions and comments. Let us all start growing simple things in our house. Maybe a goal of growing all the greens at home will be a good initial goal to be built upon later. So thank you one and all. Stay safe, eat healthy, and stay healthy. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ravindra. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.